Hello everybody, for dinner tonight we are having simple but delicious steak sandwiches. I got some thin ribeyes here. I also got a bag of some waffle fries and some rolls. It's going to be really simple. I'm going to get the waffle fries in first, and then I am going to butter and brown the rolls, which I always think makes a steak sandwich so much better. And then I'm just going to cook these inside because it's still pretty chilly out. I'd love to put it on the grill tonight, and I'm not even going to use my indoor grill. I'm just going to make them in a skillet. And for Scott and my steak sandwich, I'll have onions on ours, no onions on Jackson's. So I got the buns toasted first, and all I did was slather them with some butter and put them in a hot skillet and just kind of give them a little bit of a browning. It makes the steak sandwiches taste so much better. All right, dinner is done. We have the delicious ribeye sandwich and some waffle fries. This is the perfect dinner for any weeknight. You can't go wrong with this dinner. It's one of my family favorites. It's one of my favorites, and it's time to eat. Hello everybody. Tonight for dinner we are having the garlic and brown sugar baked chicken. It's delicious. I've shown this many times. It's a family favorite. So I've just got some chicken breast in this casserole, and over here I've got some coconut oil, and I've also got some garlic, and I'm just browning up the garlic. And once it's browned up, I will take it off the heat and add some brown sugar, and then I will pour this right over those chicken breasts. Alright, there you go. In the oven it goes. I'm going to make some mashed potatoes and corn to go with it. The chicken is done. Look at it. It's really tasty. Sometimes it bubbles up when cooking. If you notice that, don't flip out. Just open the door. Let it get a little bit of air, and it will all kind of like go back over the chicken. So here's dinner. You can see that delicious chicken breast, some mashed potatoes, and some corn. Very quick, easy weeknight dinner that you can have done in 30 minutes or less. And that chicken is really delicious. I do have a recipe up for it already, a video actually. You can go to my playlist and find it under the recipes. You can also go to my blog, and in the search bar in the right hand column, you can type in garlic brown sugar chicken, and it will bring this recipe right up for you. It's time to eat. So last night, I went ahead and got this breakfast prepared for today. It is a white chocolate and raspberry crock-pot oatmeal recipe that anyone can make. It's delicious, and it's already live on my channel, so check it out. Make it for your family. It's the perfect winter morning breakfast that's easy to make. Hello, everybody. For dinner tonight, I just browned up some turkey cutlets. I put them on a plate, and then I added in a box of stuffing, put the cutlets on top, and popped them in the oven. I then made some gravy and put a little gravy over them. This is a very quick weeknight dinner. I also have some peas, and there's the gravy, and I'm going to get it plated up so we can eat. Okay, so here is dinner. You can see the turkey cutlet and the stuffing underneath it. I served it up with some peas and some fruit. Super simple weeknight dinner. Very easy to make and super delicious. So tonight for dinner, we are just having some simple burgers. We're also having waffle fries that have been cooking. I need to turn them with the spatula. And we're also going to have some very simple baked beans. So very good dinner for a night in. It is a weeknight, but we're not in a big hurry. Jackson and Scott both are out of work and school for our trip to Louisiana. It's super cold here. I didn't run and go to the store, and I'm utilizing stuff that we already had in our kitchen. So here's dinner. You can see it's on the paper plates tonight because I do not want a lot of dishes, being we're going out of town tomorrow morning. And you look at that delicious looking burger. I usually don't do good with making burgers, so I'm kind of shocked. But it's time to eat. I hope you guys are having a warm night. This is going to fill us up and help keep us warm through this very cold winter night. So I've been cleaning up down here. I've got most of the stuff cleaned up. Got the kitchen really clean, and I want to make something for the house sitter. So I'm going to make the cuppa recipe that my grandmother used to make. It's a Very easy recipe. I make it myself quite often. It's a cup of self-rising flour, a cup of sugar, a cup of milk, and some fruit, and 1 can of Comstock. I love peach. But I'm actually doing double the recipe, so I have 2 cans, that is. And I got some cinnamon and some ground nutmeg. So I also have 1 stick of butter. It's a half a stick if you're just making the smaller amount, the regular recipe, but it's 1 stick melted. So I have my oven heating up at 375 degrees, and it's going to go in and melt. So I mixed up the flour, the sugar, the milk, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, and now it's time to get the casserole out of the oven. Again, it's 350, not 375. I can't believe I said that. I also remembered that I had a little bit of raspberries left over from a breakfast I made, and I'm going to put that in with the peaches. It'll be super yummy. I wish I had more, but a few in there will give it a nice sweet taste. Once the butter has melted, add the fruit, and you'll have to kind of spread it around a little bit. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. Rinse those out in just a minute, or scrape them out, and right in those yummy peaches go. It's better when it's fresh fruit, but this is okay in the winter. And then you just pour your batter right on top and put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. And when it's all brown and gooey and bubbly, it is done. So I'm going to go start packing, and this will bake in the oven while I'm getting busy. And I'm actually just going to sprinkle the top with the raspberries. Should be really yummy. Raspberries on top, peaches on bottom. In the oven it goes. So it's out of the oven. You can see that it's bubbly. Hear it? And you can see the raspberries peeking through, and I'm just going to let it cool here for a couple hours before I put on the lid. And she can kind of help herself as much as she'd like while we're gone, and hopefully she'll enjoy this yummy raspberry peach cobbler. So Scott is making dinner tonight. He is making tilapia, is that right? And he is going to put it in some rice. And it's just a simple dinner. He's making it on his own. There's the rice over there. And he likes fish a lot better than I do. So I'm going to have some wings and sweet potato fries. And he is going to enjoy this lovely dish. And there is Scott's dinner. And here is mine. And oddly enough, it's really good. These little boneless chicken wings in buffalo style, and sweet potato fries, some ranch. Yum. Hello, everybody. For dinner tonight, we are going to have a very simple crock pot or slow cooker beefy mac. Now ours is more like a chili mac because I like adding some chili powder. You definitely don't have to do that. And this recipe is super simple. So you do need to brown up about 1.5 pounds of ground chuck and get it in your crock pot. You want to make sure it's drained. You don't want to have any grease, and you don't want to just throw in your raw hamburger. You want to take a few minutes to go ahead and brown this. So you can do that the night before, you can do that the morning of, but definitely get your hamburger browned up and in your crock pot. And then it's real simple. You got 1 onion that you need to dice up. You need some garlic. You can use this kind or the fresh. I like to add a little bit of Grey Poupon to it, some tomato paste, some diced tomatoes, some elbow macaroni. I like to have some chili powder, some oregano, and instead of using just kosher salt, I'm going to use this garlic salt blend for a little extra kick, and some Worcestershire sauce. You also will want some cheese when this is done. Now, one thing I want to say about the elbow macaroni, if you're going to be gone all day and don't like your macaroni soft, if you like it more al dente, then I suggest waiting till like 30 minutes before you're ready to serve dinner and putting in your macaroni. Make your salad or whatever while this is finishing up. Today I'm adding it because it's a snow day at home. I want this done whenever everybody's ready to eat. We'll be eating kind of straggled tonight, so I want it ready for everybody, and I'm going to go ahead and put the macaroni in. Once it's done, I will just turn off the heat and keep the lid on. I'm not too worried about the pasta overcooking. So you just pretty much put everything in. So there's your tomatoes. I should have made this like a recipe on its own. I guess I'll have to file it under Crockpot Meals because this one's a good one. Now I'm going to add my tomato paste. I love tomato paste. When I was a little girl, my grandmother would make it fresh, and I would eat it just straight, like, once it was done. It was delicious. It's one thing I haven't done though, is made my own. And then, let me get another spoon for some of that mustard. My favorite kind of mustard. This is the Grey Poupon coarse blend. Any kind of, Dijon mustard will work. I just took about a tablespoon. A couple splashes of Worcestershire sauce. About a couple tablespoons. I'm going to add a tablespoon of oregano. Right in it goes. Kind of crush it with your hand. As you put it in, it kind of livens up your dried spices, so kind of brings them alive. You don't really have to do that with chili powder though. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of that. I'm just going to kind of put it in. It's really up to you on how much you add, if you add any at all. I added probably about 3 tablespoons. I'm going to add a bunch of the garlic salt. And then I'm going to get my onion and add that. And my garlic. I'm going to use this because I wanted to finish it up. And I really don't feel like dicing up garlic today, so I'm okay using this. And about 3 or 4 cloves. I'm going to mix it up. Then we're going to add about 3 cups of water. Alright. I like to get that meat like really mixed in with the tomato paste so it really, flavors it. Don't be scared to grab a spoon and taste it so you know if it needs anything. It tastes really good. So I've just taken 3 cans, it's my 3rd one, of hot water and poured that in. And now let's add some macaroni. Okay, I'm just going to put a couple cups. A little bit more. That will help thicken it up. It will thicken it up a lot. Now, if you're home, definitely just keep an eye on it as it cooks in case you need to add more water. Usually 3 cans or 3 cups. And a can's a little more than a cup, especially if you fill it all the way up, but should be enough. And we're just going to let this be. We're going to put the lid on. Turn it on high. I got it on high for 6 hours, but it'll be done in 4. So once it's thickened up a little bit, It will become an ooey gooey, very delicious crock-pot beefy mac that your family is sure to love. I'll show you what it looks like in just a little bit. Okay, so let's add some cheese to our beefy mac. I just started up. It looks phenomenal. Now, this isn't a big fancy dinner. It's, you know, it's comforting and warm and easy and family friendly and perfect for a winter day. I really prefer making stuff in the oven in the winter, so it helps heat the house. But this has been cooking while I have been, you know, basically working around the house and working at my desk today. And it's made me have an easy night in the kitchen. Well, it's allowed me to have an easy night in the kitchen, and it will be delicious. So there we go. I'm going to make a quick little side salad to go with it, and that is dinner. So I'm going to put the lid back on, help that cheese melt just a little bit more, and there we go. I made a very quick spinach and young lettuce mixed salad. It has tomatoes, cucumbers, and lots of fresh Parmesan. And I'm going to get dinner plated up now. All right, there is dinner. You can see I just put the salad on the plate. A lot of times the boys will lift their bowls off the plates and eat their salad. But just to make it easy to serve it, I put it all on one tiny little plate. And it's more than enough. It's a very comforting, cozy dinner that anyone can make. And very, very simple salad. So that's our warm, cozy dinner tonight. Hello, everybody. For dinner tonight, Jackson voted for something a little more kid-friendly, something that he likes a little more. So I'm making chicken quesadillas. You probably see this in a lot of my cooking videos, a lot of my What's Cooking videos, that is, because my son loves them. Now, instead of just serving it up with refried beans, I just made some very simple nachos using the little scoops. I had a lot of ground beef left over that I saved, that I put on here. I added about a half a can of refried beans, some salsa, and 2 different types of cheese, and I'm going to put these in the oven in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to get the chicken ready and get it cool where I can, you know, cut it up and make us some quesadillas. Okay, so I'm not making a ton of quesadillas. I'm making 2 because I'm making them with these really large burrito size tortillas, and 2 is plenty. Jack's gonna eat about a half one. Scott and I will also eat pretty much about a half one apiece, and with the nachos, it will be more than enough. So I had some chicken fingers already, well, chicken tenderloins, not fingers. We all kind of call them fingers around here. Already thawed out, and I didn't have a ton of them, but this is enough. So this is a tip. If you guys really need a money-saving meal, you can really stretch your buck with quesadillas, because you don't need a ton of meat to fill them up. You also fill them up with cheese and onions maybe, and maybe some red peppers. We're going very, very, very easy on the quesadillas. I usually do like onions, but I'm skipping those for Jackson. But you fill them up with other stuff, and the bread alone is very filling. So it's a great money-stretching meal that you can make. And I'm not doing it to save money. I'm actually just doing it for my son. But it is a great meal, and one thing I love is that I didn't have to make a ton of chicken to make this meal. So I'm going to let this cool down for just a couple minutes. Then I'm going to get it all cut up and get our tortillas made. See, I told you that's a lot of chicken. So now we're going to get the quesadillas going. So tonight, both the nachos and the quesadillas are going in the oven. I have some parchment paper. I'm only going to melt the cheeses on both. The quesadillas were pretty full, and they would have been really hard to flip. So I'm going to just kind of melt everything right in here, and then dinner's basically done. Okay, so dinner is done. You can see I just slid the nachos over on this glass cutting board, and I have the quesadillas right here. The boys can help themselves. I've got the paper plates. We usually don't use paper plates. You've seen it once before on the night the night before we left for our trip, when I didn't want a lot of dishes. This is a very, very, very finger-friendly type of dinner. We don't need a heavy glass plate. I don't, frankly, want to clean up a big mess. So it's paper plates. I got some extra condiments. I got just some sour cream, some more salsa. I got the refried beans out. I doubt they will eat those with everything out, but they're there in case they want them. And this is our dinner tonight. So for dinner tonight, I am making the Italian Wonder Pot. This is delicious. Now, I've changed it up a little bit for our family, but this is a delicious, easy dinner that is made basically with ingredients most of us already have, and it's super easy. It really does deserve to be, a standalone recipe on my channel, but tonight we're just going to go with it right here on the What's Cooking video. I'll show you how I make it. So you're going to need some linguine. I got that. You're also going to need some frozen spinach. I got just the Earthbound Farm organic spinach. You're going to need 4 cups of chicken broth, or if vegetables your thing, you could totally use that. You're going to need a 128-ounce can of diced tomatoes, a couple tablespoons of olive oil, a small onion, about 4 cloves of garlic. You're going to need about 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You're going to need about 1/4 of a tablespoon of dried oregano. You're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of basil, some Parmesan cheese, and that's about it. Everything really goes in one pot, no joke. So the first thing I want to point out is we have some chicken, just some of the Trader Joe's that is thawed out in the microwave. I will add this to the pasta once it's done, but I wanted to beef it up a little bit for the family. The boys really will need some meat usually with their dinners, and they complain if they don't get it. So I'm going to get the onion sliced up rather thin and get the garlic sliced up rather thin, and then get going with dinner. So I got the onions cut up and the yummy garlic, and now we're going to get it all in the pot. So in this pot, I have the 4 cups of chicken broth. I have the 128-ounce can of tomatoes. You can't see it. It's kind of on bottom. I have 1/2 of the frozen spinach because I like it to be really green whenever it's done. When it cooks in this pot, it will lose a lot of its color because of how long it takes to cook. But I saved some, so there's some bright green into it. I have my oregano, my onion, and my garlic. You can't see the garlic. I have some pepper, some red pepper flakes, and some basil. Of course, I have my linguine, and I'm going to put this on the stove, bring it to a boil, and then cover it and cook it on medium heat. Everything cooks in. The pasta and the starches all mix in with the stock and the vegetables. And while this is starting to cook, I am going to quickly fry up a couple of chicken breasts so I can add that in at the end so it will be a little more hearty. It's actually not the customary recipe, but it's just the way we kind of beefed it up. So now that it's boiling, we're going to turn the heat down to medium, put the lid on it, and let it do its thing. And once it's done, I'll add in that chicken. So as the pasta cooks down, I'm going to add in my chicken, all of those yummy juices. And then I'm going to mix it all up really well. Now you could break up the pasta to make it, stir up easier. That was like a cardinal sin in culinary school, so I don't break my pasta up hardly ever. I feel like I'm going to get haunted by the culinary gods if I do that, especially the Italian culinary gods. And now we're just going to let it finish cooking down. I'm going to get ready and add my spinach in the next few minutes. Okay, so there's the rest of the spinach going in. I will say that this is a wonderful, busy summer night dinner when you add shrimp to it, like shrimp in the last final little bits of cooking, and they will cook right here in this broth. It is divine. So this is almost done. I'm going to let that cook down just a few more minutes and let all of those flavors mingle. And I'm going to wait on the garlic bread. I'm not going to serve a salad tonight because we have lots of vegetables in here with the spinach and the tomatoes. So I think this with garlic bread will be more than enough. So I'm going to take some Parmesan and just lightly use my grater and just take it across. And I'll be adding some more on top of the plates, but I just like to add a little bit of the Parmesan. Now, if you have a Parmesan rind inside of your freezer, because I save my rinds, that would work great too. I just had this in the fridge, so I'm just going to put in some fresh Parmesan so it tastes delicious. And when you shave it, it just melts a lot easier. So I'm just getting some in the pot, and then I'll put some more on top of the bowls of pasta. See how quick you can do it? Super fast. Alright, mix that in so it doesn't just stay on some of the pasta. We need it on all. It's going to be delicious, you guys. Look at that amazing pot of pasta. It's got the linguine, it's got the chicken, the spinach, the tomatoes, red pepper flakes, basil, oregano, chicken, what else? It's got olive oil in it. It's got chicken broth or stock. It's going to be absolutely divine, and I'm going to show you how we plate it up. Super simple to make. Perfect for any busy weeknight, and also perfect for any summer dinner when you add shrimp. It's exactly the same. Just add your shrimp towards the end. They only take about 3 minutes to cook, and it's a wonderful addition to this pasta dinner. So here's dinner. I just simply put it in a bowl, served it up with some garlic bread, added some cheese that's starting to melt over it, and that, my friends, is a very, very, very simple, delicious, hearty, fast weeknight dinner. Or, like I said, it would be perfect in the spring or summer with shrimp. But the true recipe does not call for any meat. But, you know, for our family, we wanted to beef it up just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching this What's Cooking video. I hope you got some menu ideas and some inspiration of some different things to make for your family. If you have any questions or comments on anything you saw in this video, be sure to leave that below and I'll do my best to answer it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family so they see it too. If you're new here, take a second. Use the button at the top to get subscribed. All of my social media is linked below. I would love it if you followed along on Instagram and Facebook for daily updates and pictures. You can get to my blog by clicking the link in the corner. There's some additional videos on each side just in case you want to see more. Thanks so much for watching.